Hello, everybody, and welcome to NBA Canada, the first episode of the season. I did a season preview video earlier about all the teams and playoff seedings and whatnot. We're going to get started right away. There's been a lot of crazy things going on in the NBA this year. The Eastern Conference is looking weak, as we all know. I think everybody knows it's a two-team race between the Pacers and the Heat. We know the Western Conference, there's a lot of surprises in that Western Conference. A lot of teams are improving. So, we're going to get down to it. The Eastern Conference, we're going to start Miami and Indiana. They've played each other twice this year, and they've split. People have been speculating Miami doesn't care about playing Indiana. Like the games, because they know the playoffs is all that matters. But we know truly deep inside, Miami does care about playing Indiana, and they do want to beat them. And last night they did close out the game with Ray Allen and Chris Bosh knocking down 2 threes and shooting 4 for 6 from the field in the last 3 minutes, while Indiana went 0 for 5. And also Ray Allen clutched with his clutch free throws, 2 for 2 at the line to win the game for the Heat in the late stretch. And we also saw Paul George driving to the net. LeBron had his hips on him while he was shooting the ball. He was calling for a foul, but I don't think it was a foul. I think LeBron, it wasn't really intentionally like he actually slapped him, but it wasn't a foul. The Pacers lost the game. 1-1 split. It doesn't matter. These two are going to be 1-2. They're going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. The third best team in the Eastern Conference right now is the Atlanta Hawks, and we didn't expect them to be a top 4 team, seeming that Brooklyn and Chicago and the Knicks, but Atlanta looks really good right now. They got probably a top 5 big men combo in Al Horford and Paul Millsap. Those two, they're very good down low, and they got a good point guard in Jeff Teague. They got the best three-point shooter in this league today, and his name is Kyle Korver. He stretches the floor great for them, and he makes some big-time shots. The teams that are struggling, we all know the New York Knicks have been struggling all year long. They have yet to find their identity. Is Mike Woodson going to get fired? We don't know that. But I will tell you, they were struggling without probably the best defensive center in the NBA, in Tyson Chandler. And he came back, left an impact last night. They barely won against one of the weakest teams in the league, Milwaukee Bucks. There was about 20 seconds left, and Bargnani shoots the ball. Why would you shoot when the shot clock is off? All you got to do is waste the time. That's what led him into overtime. It's frustrating to be a Knicks fan. Raymond Felton's been hurt. Pablo Prigioni's been hurt. There's been trade rumors. Kyle Lowry going to New York. We don't know. Maybe they're going to hold that off Toronto. There's another team. Talk about the Raptors. Seeming that we're on a Canadian show here. The Raptors, they did make a trade. They traded Rudy Gay, Aaron Gray, and Quincy Acey for 4 good players from the Sacramento Kings and Grievous Vasquez, John Solomons, Patrick Patterson, and Chuck Hayes. Have they left an impact in Toronto so far? Yes, they have. They're 3-1 with those guys on the team without Rudy Gay, and they've done a fantastic job. I really like Grievous Vasquez, his ability to come off screens and move the basketball. I really like the toughness of Salmons and Patterson, who can knock down shots. And we haven't seen anything of Chuck Hayes since he's been inactive most of the time. But I think it will benefit Toronto. Are they tanking? We don't know. It depends on where they want to go from here. They lost a big game last night in Charlotte. That's another team that is doing very well on a buzzer beater. But I feel bad for a guy like DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, who I think are the best players on this team. Really, DeRozan's got 30 points a game now that Gay's gone. He does shoot a better percentage than Gay. I will tell you that. Kyle Lowry, he has improved his game. He makes a lot of threes. He's a smart point guard. You know what? He's gotten better. Yeah, he plays for Toronto, but he will be. I think if he were to ever get traded to a contending playoff team that has a legitimate chance at a championship run, he'd be great for one of those teams. I don't know if Toronto's, maybe it might not work. I think DeRozan, they'll keep DeRozan. I think he'll be their franchise guy along with whoever they draft. I know everybody on that team, according to Masai Ujiri, is everyone on that team is tradable, but Jonas Valanciunas, which I really like that guy. He's strong, but the coach, the Winkies, he doesn't play him. He doesn't play him in a crucial situation. So I don't know how that situation is going to work. But that's my Raptors spiel. They're 9-14. That's what I know about them. They're the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. So they're going to hang around there for so long. Another team, we're going to talk about Brooklyn. They've been hit with injuries. No Brook Lopez, no Darren Williams, no Pierce, no Joe Johnson. And now they're getting all these guys back. They lost a tough one to Washington the other night. Washington's a good team, though. But I'm telling you, this team is improving. They will win the Atlantic Division. I'll tell you that. By the end of the season, they'll win the Atlantic Division. I think they'll be the number 3 seed. They're getting better. Joe Johnson is the clutchest shooter in the NBA right now. He is that good of a player. I think Brook Lopez is a top 5 center in this league. Darren Williams, great point guard. We know he's been around for a long time. This team is good. I'm telling you, Brooklyn will be better. They just got to get their identity back with Jason Kidd, and they'll be at the top of the Atlantic Division. We'll talk about Washington. Washington's had a great run so far. I can't believe the things John Wall's doing. He is a fantastic point guard. Scoring the ball, passing the ball. He's doing everything possible for this Washington Wizards team to win. And he's got some good assets on his team. I really like Bradley Beal, Martell Webster, Trevor Ariza, guys who can shoot and take it to the rack. He's got big men that he can work with. I love the combo of Marcin Gortat and Nene. Just a great combo. I really like the job Randy Whitman's doing with that team. They're going to go far. In the playoffs, I don't know. I think they have a very good chance if the playoffs were to end like this today. They have a chance to go for the semifinals for sure. So that's my spiel on the Wizards. Like I said, the East is the weaker half of this league. There's not much speculation on any other team. Boston's a little, they're hanging in there. They're playing well. They're playing some good basketball. I really like the schemes of Brad Stevens. They got some good complimentary guys. They're still waiting on Rajon Rondo. So we'll see. That Atlantic Division, I'm telling you, it's up for grabs for anybody, really. The way the Knicks are playing, the way Brooklyn's playing, I think Brooklyn, by the end, will win this thing. It's frustrating to be a fan of that division. We know Miami and Indiana are the 2 best teams. In the East. We know Chicago, they lost Derrick Rose. How upsetting. It's tough to be a Bulls fan, too. Now you got another whole season without Derrick Rose. So we don't really know where the future of the Bulls are going. We don't know the future of Tom Thibodeau. We don't know the future of Luol Deng, who I hear trade rumors. You know what? I think it'd be beneficial for them to trade Luol Deng for maybe a couple picks. For next year's draft. That way, when you get Rose, you got another. Maybe you'll tank to get a guy like Jabari Parker, Andrew Wiggins, Julius Randle, type of guy like that to play the 3 with Derrick Rose. I really like Jimmy Butler. I think he'll stick it out in Chicago. So that's what I think. Chicago, I think they'll be fine in a couple of years. I don't know if they're a championship team anymore, even when they do get Rose back, because look how good Miami and Indiana are. They're neck and neck. I think Indiana's a mini version of OKC. To be honest with you, with the 2 bigs and West and Hibbert, they're the mini versions of Kendrick Perkins and Serge Ibaka. Durant and Paul George. I think they're missing a point guard. I think George Hill, he's a conservative point guard. He's good. He's a good point guard. He's conservative. I guess you expect more from Lance Stevenson and eventually Danny Granger when he comes back. So that's what I think for the Eastern Conference so far. Not much speculation. You can't really spiel about these guys because, no one's making a big impact but those 2 teams. So we're going to skip to the West. The West, it's incredible how many teams are over 11, 12 wins already that you wouldn't expect to be over 11, 12 wins. You got Phoenix. We got the Mavericks. You got the Portland Trailblazers, who are first in the Western Conference ahead of Oklahoma City. That's because they play more games. But they're still... And they beat OKC, which was a back-to-back. So I'll give you that, Portland. I won't give you that, Portland. But I will tell you, they're a tough team at home. Damian Lillard, it has to be considered for the all-star spot, point guard. I don't care if you don't play him much. But he's got to be considered. His team's in first place. LaMarcus Aldridge is one of the best power forwards in the game. No offense, Kevin Love, but he's playing really well. He's playing amazing. You got Robin Lopez, who's having a breakout year. We've never expected this from Robin Lopez. You got 2 great wingmen in Wesley Matthews and Nick Batum. I'm telling you, Portland's going to be tough. They won't be the number 1 seed. It's going to be OKC. But I'm telling you, Portland's a top 4 team. They're going to be number 3 or 4, and they're going to be tough in the playoffs at home. I don't see many teams beating Portland. I don't. I don't see anybody beating Portland in the playoffs but OKC and San Antonio and maybe the Clippers. Those are the 3 teams I think that could beat this team at home. But other than that, no, I don't think anybody has a chance. I don't think so. It's like playing in OKC. It's like playing in Seattle in the NFL. I don't see it. But really, number 2 in the Western Conference is OKC. They played 3 less games. They're undefeated at home. They're 12-0 at home. Kevin Durant is going nuts on the court. His numbers are off the charts. He's got to be the MVP this year. I don't care what anybody says about LeBron James, about his stats. It's Durant who's stepping up. I know Durant scores 30 points a game. We all know he's the best scorer in this world today. But really, though, his rebound numbers, his assist numbers, they have gone up from last year and the year before combined. He's played really well. I think Westbrook coming back was fantastic for this team. I really like this team. And I really love Reggie Jackson, the way he comes in off the bench. He's their 6th man. You play Westbrook and Jackson, it gives Westbrook some pressure to bring up, brings the pressure off him to bring up the ball. So that's what I like about Reggie Jackson. He is one great point guard coming out of Boston College. This is his 3rd year in the league. Really developed into a nice player. He averages about 13, 14 points a game. That's what you want. You got Jeremy Lamb, who averages about 10 points a game. That's what you want out of him. You know, Ibaka has stepped up his game. So that's what I like about the Thunder. You know, everyone's contributing now. This is not like, okay, yeah, we're missing James Harden. He's our third scorer and whatnot. Don't worry about it. We got Jackson. You got Lamb. You got Collison, who chips in buckets here and there. Perry Jones' athleticism off the bench. I love this team. I love it, and they're going to the finals. They're going to the finals. If everyone stays healthy, they're going to the finals. That's definite. I don't care what anybody says. They're going to the finals if they're healthy. If they're not healthy, they lose Westbrook to Durant, they're done. But they're healthy. They got everybody on board. They're going to the finals, and they're going to win. They're going to win the finals. They've beaten Indiana already. They killed Indiana. They beat them by like 20. They beat San Antonio. They're done. They beat the Clippers. Actually, they're splitting with the Clippers right now, but that's because OKC was missing Westbrook, so I'll give you that. But I'm telling you, they beat the Clippers too, and they beat Golden State thanks to Westbrook. So they got to beat the Heat. That's the team they got to beat. They can beat everybody else but the Heat. That's what I got on OKC. San Antonio, they're fine. San Antonio is always good. You know, Duncan's playing like he's 20 again. Same with Parker, Ginobili. We haven't seen much Kawhi Leonard this year. You know, I'm kind of disappointed. But, you know, I think he'll spur it out eventually. Him and Danny Green, you know, they're starters on that team. They got to produce. You know, same with Thiago Splitter. It's early in the season right now. You can't really tell who's not producing and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I think it'll be okay. What I seen the Clippers, they're a lot better team than they were last year with Doc Rivers, of course. Great system with them. Chris Paul's playing incredible basketball. He's the best point guard in the league. I don't care what anybody says. Westbrook's up there too. But I'm saying it's Chris Paul. The way Chris Paul's playing, the way he's leading his team to victory, he's the double machine every night. He's got 25 points, 12 assists every game. You know, yeah, it's great. I really like the Clippers here. They're doing well. They're missing JJ Redick. You know, you're missing your 3-point threat. He gives you about 12 points, 13 points a game. You're missing that, but that's okay. It's early in the year. You got to get guys healthy. That's what's important. You got to get them ready for the playoffs. You got to position yourself. You know, now there's the Houston Rockets. I love their system too. Dwight Howard made a great decision going there. He's playing good basketball. He's had about 4 or 5 games where he's got 30 points, 20 rebounds, and that's what Houston wants him to do. You got to get buckets underneath the rim, and you got to get rebounds. That's Dwight's job. And I really like, you know, Harden, his playmaking ability. Patrick Beverly's a tough player. Chandler Parsons is up this game every day. The one guy we don't know, Omar Ashik, is he going to get traded? Maybe. He's not in that system. of Kevin McHale. So I think he should get traded. I think Houston will get something out of it, something good. But then again, with the Sheik, he had a breakout year last year. They made the playoffs. Houston, I'm telling you, they're a good team. They're going to be tough. They're going to give guys a run for their money. They beat Chicago last night. I know, no Derrick Rose, but they beat Chicago last night, and it was good. A good team win for the Houston Rockets. Now there's Golden State. We know Golden State's a good team. We got Andre Iguodala back from an injury. I think personally, Harrison Barnes. He's a great player. I think he's better when he starts. To be honest with you, Harrison Barnes is a better player when he starts. More motivated, I think, with Harrison Barnes. Steph Curry, we know he's a three-point king. Him and Klay Thompson can shoot the lights out any day of the week. I like the bigs. I love Lee and I love Bogut. But the thing is with them, their bench play. After Barnes, who do you have? Draymond Green. He's not much of a scorer. Kent Bazemore, Maurice Spates. He's a decent fill-in as a big man. It's tough for Golden State. I told you, this is a tough Western Conference matchup. Everywhere else, you look at the Mavericks, they're way better. They're way better than they were last year. They got Jose Calderon. I love Calderon. I love his shooting. I love his pick and roll type play. I love Monte Ellis. That was the biggest acquisition of Dallas. Great pickup. I love Ellis. He pure out score. Assist too. But his ability to run the floor and score the basketball it helps out Dirk. It helps out Dirk and Sean Marion, literally veterans. It gives them breathing room off their shoulders. To do more. I really like the addition of DeJuan Blair. A big man fill-in to come in for Dallin Bear and Dirk. I really like what Dallas is doing. I think they will be a playoff team. Are they top four? I don't think so. I think they're 5, 6, 7, 8. That's what I think about the Mavericks. They look good. Minnesota, they're a good team. I like Minnesota. Kevin Love he's the best power forward. He's besides LaMarcus Aldridge, he's the best four-man in this league. This guy's getting 30 points, 17 rebounds, triple-double every game. 5 threes, whatever you want. His fantasy numbers are off the limits. He's a good player, and he really compliments guys like Rubio and Pekovic and Kevin Martin, that was a great pickup for Minnesota. I know I'm an OKC fan, but Kevin Martin has helped this team win ball games. He's producing more because he's a starter. He's got like 20 points a game most of the time. He's doing a real bang-up job. He spreads the floor, shoots threes, high percentage at the free throw line. I love Kevin Martin. I love that team. Rick Edelman, very successful coach. So Minnesota's in the question too. This is a tough West. Denver's starting to get better. They're starting to find their identity with Coach Shaw. I really like Nate Robinson and Ty Lawson running the point. Lawson's improving his game every year. I think he should be an all-star. He's quick, man. I like his athleticism. Kenneth Faried is only going to get better. They're still waiting on JaVale McGee. He's been hurt most of the year, so we'll talk about that later. Another team I would like to talk about is the LA Lakers. Kobe's return. The first 3 games, they're rolling 3. I think Kobe was the reason they lost those 3 games. I'm sorry, Kobe. But his turnover numbers are terrible when he came back those first 3 games, and then they finally got their win. Kobe's coming back. Kobe's coming back to the farm where LeBron and KD step aside. It's Kobe's time to be Mr. Clutch. I love his shooting. He's a one dynamic player. He makes that team a lot better. They're missing the point guard, though. They're missing Steve Nash. He's hurt. Is he getting old? Yeah, okay, age does say a lot, but he is getting hurt here and there. But I really like Steve Nash. He's going to compliment Kobe when he comes back. When Nash comes back, I see the Lakers making the playoffs this year. They're not a top 4 team anymore. But I do see him being in the playoffs. They will give someone a run. I don't know who, but they will give someone a run. I know Kobe's got some stuff up his sleeve along with Gasol. They're missing a center. I think they're missing a center. I I don't think Chris Kaman was happy with the decision he made coming to LA. That's what I got on the Lakers. It's all about Kobe now. It's running through the Kobe system for them to win ball games. And another team I want to talk about, Memphis. They're doing well, somewhat doing well, somewhat not. There's trade speculations of Zach Randolph. Marcus Gasol's been hurt. But the guy who I think has stepped up through all of this mess in Memphis, he lost Lionel Hollins. I can't believe they got rid of Lionel Hollins. He's one of the best coaches in the NBA. Is Mike Conley. His numbers have gone up. Three-pointers, points, assists, rebounds, whatever. He's doing everything for that team, possibly to win. And I feel bad for the guy because who else do you have on your team that's going to produce? Tayshaun Prince, he's getting old, and he's not a scorer. He's a defensive threat. Maybe that's where you're missing Rudy Gay. Speaking of Rudy Gay, going to Sacramento, they're 1-2 with Rudy Gay. They're 1-2 with Rudy Gay. Shooting percentages, Gay's not that guy who's gonna, he's gonna shoot 9 for 25 every night, something like that. He will finish with 20 points, but you're missing a lot of shots with them. I think you gotta let Gay shoot some smart shots. You gotta drop a play. That's going to get Gay to, open up to shoot high percentage shots rather than, letting him drive to the hoop, get a contested shot, and miss. I don't think that's what Gay's all about, to be honest with you. You got Cousins. You do have some supporting cast. Isaiah Thomas, he's a really good player for a small guy who's my height. Sacramento, in the long run, I think they'll be okay. It's just with the percentages with Gay and even Cousins too. So we'll see with Sacramento. A team that's a mess, we all know, the Utah Jazz are terrible. They're 5-20 or whatever they are. They did get Trey Burke back, rookie Trey Burke. He's done a great job last night. He got 30 points. Wow, fantastic for Trey Burke. Yeah, he'll be a good point guard in the long run. One sleeper team I will want to mention. Final thoughts here. Charlotte Bobcats. Last night, big win for Charlotte against the Toronto Raptors. Wow, Kemba Walker, game-winning shot. Raptors got to play defense. Defense wins you championships. That's what their coach issues. And they don't play defense because Kemba Walker went through 5 guys on that whole team, opening up for a shot, hitting in Valanciunas' face, and Kemba Walker walks away a winner, and Charlotte is a top 5 team in the East. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true because they won the game. They have one of the best big men in the league on their team, Al Jefferson, who is a double-double machine. Josh McRoberts is the best defensive player on the team. He's playing really well. Steve Clifford, pat yourself on the back because that Charlotte Bobcat team is going somewhere. I'm telling you, they're good. Michael Jordan, be proud. Charlotte, I'm telling you, they're making the playoffs. If they keep playing like this, they're making the playoffs. That's how good Charlotte is. I'm telling you. The way to close out a game like that, that's terrible for Toronto's part. That's typical of the Raptors to lose on the last game shot. Remember last year, Cleveland Cavaliers, Kyrie Irving, another team. Oh, I love Kyrie Irving. Another sleeper team is the Cavaliers. I love Cleveland. Great team. This team's improving. I like this team. Kyrie Irving is on another level. He's on another level. He's an all-star. He's a great player. The big men they're starting to develop. Varejao, Bynum, Tristan Thompson. They're all up in their game. There is speculations, however. There's trade rumors with Dion Waiters. I think he will get traded. So that's what I think. Those are 2 sleeper teams I like to tell you about. But for now, I thank you for watching. Christmas Day coming up next week. A lot of big games. We got the Bulls in Brooklyn. That'll be a good game. OKC, New York. I don't know what Carmelo's got on his plate, but I know KD and Russ are coming to steal the show. Miami and LA, another good game. We got the Clippers and Golden State. That's another one. Houston, San Antonio. This is going to be a good Christmas, I'm telling you. Oh, man. Basketball's where it's at on Christmas Day. There's no other sports being showed. You got to watch it on ESPN. ABC. All these games are on. You got the best players in the world playing on the biggest day of the year. I'm telling you, go out, watch those games. KD versus Carmelo. We got the Brooklyn Net powerhouse versus the rebuilding Chicago Bulls. We got James Harden and his new team against the veteran San Antonio team. We got LeBron against Kobe. We got Stephen Curry against Chris Paul. This is Christmas. I'm telling you, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love Christmas Day. Thank you for watching. More videos to come throughout the year. I will make one after Christmas. So keep watching, NBA fans in Canada. Go OKC. That's my team. But thank you for watching, and I appreciate your time.